Okay, let's dive right into a topic that, look, a lot of us would rather just push to the bottom of the list. But getting this sorted is genuinely one of the most loving things you can do for the people in your life. We are talking about making a will.
Now, I know that sounds incredibly blunt, but this quote, it just gets right to the heart of the matter. See, creating a will isn't really about you. It's not about planning for your death. It's about making sure your family doesn't have to suffer through a world of unnecessary chaos and stress after you're gone.
And this analogy is just perfect, isn't it? Because that mess we're talking about, it's not a few spilled drinks. We're talking painful, drawn-out legal battles, massive, unexpected tax bills, and for some, it could even mean the collapse of a business they spent their entire life building. It's a massive burden to drop on people when they're already at their lowest.
So, let's be honest about it. What does that mess actually look like? What are the real, painful consequences of not having a plan?
Here's the word you need to know: intestate. If you die intestate, you've essentially given up all control. A cold, rigid, and totally impersonal set of legal rules takes over, and those rules decide who gets what. And here's the real kicker: what the law decides is almost guaranteed to be different from what you would have actually wanted.
For any parent, this is probably the most terrifying question of all. Without a will, you don't get to name a legal guardian. That decision, the single most important choice about your children's entire future, gets handed over to a court. And yeah, they'll make a choice, but it might not be the person you would have trusted with your kids' lives.
And here is a perfect example of where the law can be incredibly cruel. If you're not married, the stakes are unbelievably high. Legally, it doesn't matter if you've been together for 30 years and built a life together. Without a will, your partner could get absolutely nothing. They could even be forced out of the home you shared. A will is literally the only thing that gives them legal protection.
It's a sad truth, but money and property can bring out the absolute worst in people. A clear, legally sound will just removes all the guesswork. It cuts out the ambiguity and dramatically lowers the risk of those horrible family feuds and resentments that can tear families apart for good.
And it builds from there. Because these days, it's not just about your personal stuff. Our modern lives have added whole new layers of complexity, especially when it comes to your business and your digital footprint.
Now this is a terrifying but very real scenario for any business owner. If you die unexpectedly, you might not just be leaving behind a business, you could be leaving behind a ticking time bomb of liability. A proper will lets you create a real succession plan. It lays out who takes over, how to handle the obligations, and it protects your family from potential financial ruin.
And then there's all our digital stuff. I mean, think about it. Our digital lives hold so much value, both sentimental and financial. We're talking decades of family photos, important documents, maybe even crypto wallets. Without a plan, your family might never, ever get access to any of it. It could all just be lost forever.
The good news is tech companies are finally catching on. You can use tools like these to actually designate someone to manage your accounts after you're gone. It's a really practical step you can take right now to decide what gets saved, what gets passed on, and what gets deleted. Okay, so after hearing all those risks, you might be feeling a little, overwhelmed. But don't be. The solution is actually a pretty clear and manageable process.
Let's just walk through it. 1. List everything. Just make a simple list of what you own and what you owe. It doesn't have to be perfect, just a rough picture. 2. Decide who gets what. This is your chance to be really specific. 3. Choose your team. This is so important. Pick an executor you trust to get things done, and if you have kids, a guardian you trust completely. 4. Plan for your digital world. Make that separate list for your online life. And 5, the most crucial step, make it legal. Sign it correctly with witnesses, and please, store it somewhere your executor can actually find it. See, it's just a checklist.
So, you've got your plan. Now for the final, critical piece of the puzzle. Making absolutely sure your will is legally solid and your family can find it when they need it most. All right, you've got options. DIY services can look cheap, but honestly, one wrong word can make the whole thing invalid. For a few £100s, a solicitor gives you tailored advice and, most importantly, the peace of mind that your wishes will actually be honored. If you have a business or even a slightly complicated family situation, it's a no-brainer.
And hey, while you're in this planning mindset, you should seriously think about an LPA. This lets you choose someone to make financial and health decisions for you if you can. Without one, your family has to go through a slow, expensive, and incredibly stressful court process just to manage your affairs.
So, here's the bottom line. We've talked about assets and laws and documents, but a will is so much more than that. It's really a profound statement of how much you care about your people.
Get this. An incredible 60% of adults in the UK still do not have a will. That means more than half the country's leaving their families completely exposed to all the risks and heartaches we've just talked about. The goal here is simple: to convince you not to be in that statistic.
Because ultimately, a will isn't for you, it's for them. It's your last chance to protect the people you love from chaos and conflict. It's the final gift you can give them. And that question on the screen says it all. Are you ready to give?